Welcome to this week's edition of Red and Black Sport. Don't know where the weekend came from. It wasn't meant to, was it? It was meant to be snow and all kinds of things, but it was a lovely weekend, a great chance to get out and about. Well, the Canterbury ITM side, they just rumble on, don't they? They are a remarkable team. And if you remember, Scott Robinson was in here at the end of last season, and I said, well, it must be terrific to have 6 in the bin. I said, what's the plan? He said, why wouldn't we get 7? Well, he's rumbling good enough to do that. Wellington. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, what a joke that is. But my other team, I've got to say, still gives me a hell of a lot of pleasure, Tasman. And I can't wait for that Canterbury-Tasman game, which is the last game in the round. Tasman just play a style of football which I just think is terrific, I really do. Everyone gives it a rip and, well, they take teams apart. And that's the thing I like about them. Scott Robinson, as I say, has got that team well and truly on track for Canterbury. So they've got a tough week this week. They play Wednesday and then, of course, Sunday here against Southland, who had been a side that actually tripped Canterbury up a couple of times, if you remember. We lost the Ramfurly Shield at Rugby Park just after the earthquakes, and Southland, they'll be a bit of a handful, but I don't think that'll be the problem. The game will still be Tasman when Canterbury play them, and I think that's great. So keep going, lads. Tom Taylor getting a call up to go to Argentina for Argentina and the Springbok Test match. He may not get a start, but good on him. He's still back in the frame with Steve Hansen. How he got there, of course, is a bit of a mystery, isn't it? Aaron Cruden just forgot to get on the plane. Well, you just don't do that, guys, and I'd hate to have been the person that took the call from Steve Hansen, but never mind. That's another story. The Canterbury Bulls, we mustn't forget them either in rugby league, going really, really well. 4 from 4, so full marks to them. Summer sport about to get started, so we'll get the moth-eaten weather out of the road beforehand, I suppose, because, boy, John Key was down. I was there on Monday, and he opened the pavilion at Hagley Park, and it is a splendid, splendid addition to Hagley Park. If you've not seen it, go and have a wander around. You can still walk across the park for all those soothsayers that said we wouldn't be able to. The park is still ours, but it's a wonderful structure, and I love the roof line on it. It's going to look like a village green, and, boy, we're going to have some cricket on there over the summer. But well, an old friend has come home, and we have a thing called the Chatham Cup. And if you were with us, of course, last year, we had the pleasure of filming that at ASB Stadium. The girls played first, and they won it, and then the boys came out, and they won the Chatham Cup. Now, I've got a bitch about this because I think it's a very, very tough competition. It's a knockout, it's sudden death. For a side to get through and play and qualify for the final 2 years in a row, I believe, like the Ramfurly Shield, you should have the right to demand that it be played at home. Thought it was a dumb decision to actually take it to North Harbour Stadium where they played. Nobody there, nobody cared. We're down here, we had a wonderful day, didn't we? But overcoming all the obstacles were the Kashmir Tech side, and they've won it 2 from 2. So wonderful old trophy, 1923 it was presented from the HMS Chatham, which was the ship that was in port at the time. And unlike the Ramfurly Shield, this was truly a football trophy, because of course the Ramfurly Shield was given by Lord Ramfurly for soccer to be played with it. So we converted it to rugby. So there's a bit of history for you. But great to have the old girl here. I don't know what they call it, I must ask that. But John Brown was the boy in charge of coaching the side. Aaron Clapham was one of the ringleaders in the team. And what a wonderful effort, guys. Firstly, congratulations to you both. Great to have the girl home. Have you named it? Do you have a name? I know they do with the Ramfurly Shield.
Oh, it's got a Twitter page. I think it's called the Chatty Cup on Twitter page.
No, but a nickname. You must have a nickname.
We just call her the old girl, like you say, I think.
Yeah. Is it good to drink out of?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but it is a wonderful achievement. Do you share my comment about the fact that, you know, surely if you're the defending champion and you fight your way through a knockout, would you not be entitled to have it at home?
Yeah, it's a tough one, that. I would love to have seen it been back home, but I suppose what they should do is state right for the start of the season where it's going to be played, and then there's no last minute preparations. But we had it in Christchurch last year, so for me personally, I think it was good to win it away for Christchurch, and then people can say that now we both won it at home and obviously up and beyond the Bombay Hills.
Aaron, an away game, is that tougher for you guys, or, you know, does the home ground get you up a bit more? What happens?
I think it's always easier at home. There are some challenges to playing away from home. Obviously the travel, the food you've got to deal with too, whereas at home you're comfortable, you're relaxed, you know, you got your family and your friends down there cheering you on, so it's always nicer to play at home. It would have been great if we could have got the final at home, but like Brownie said, you know, winning it away and at home now, you know, 2 years in a row, there's not too many arguments you can have.
When you set your season going, you know, obviously you have a think tank and you plan out what you're going to do. Was it a wee bit pie in the sky to think, gosh, we could defend this and actually win it again?
I mean, it's a massive goal, and like you said, it's knockout football, and anything can happen because it's all just one-off games, and you've got a massive target on your back as the reigning champions.
Well, you're the ones they want to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's another big challenge. So just any knockout tournament, to say that, look, we're going to try and win this thing, it's a big goal, but it's something that we did set out to do at the start of the year.
Bertie, Cashmere Tech. Tell me a little bit about Cashmere Tech, the history of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of history there. I came out here in 1994. Wilson brought us out, Wilson Football Club, which was part of the Working Men's Club. So they're incorporated into Cashmere Tech, so is the Christchurch Technical Club and the Cashmere Wanderers Club. So I think the way football's changed a wee bit, and like any sports now, a lot of teams seem to be amalgamating. It means you can have more juniors, more seniors, and employ people to do it full time, because all volunteers are not quite there as much as what they used to be.
So are you a full-time coach?
No.
You've got a proper job?
I've got a proper job, part-time, to the wife's amazement. I'm still coaching, but just...
So how long have you been at the helm there?
So this is my third year, so Cashmere, I've only been gone 3 years, so...
How did you go in year one?
Year one, we did all right. We finished second in the league, and we got to the last 16 of the Chatham Cup, where Caversham and Dunedin knocked us out 4-3. So we really enjoyed that Chatham Cup run, and it kind of set us up for the following year because we knew how special it was, and we wanted to really give it a good fist.
So we look at Canterbury United, for argument's sake, and they're not really world beaters in that league. What happens to Cashmere Tech? Why have they got the belief?
It's a hard one because Canterbury United, obviously, that's an amalgamation of a lot of clubs, and Tech has a lot of people behind it now. We have a lot of teams, a lot of people want you to do well, coming to support you, whereas Canterbury United are just a two-team club. So, and to be fair, National League is a lot tougher than local.
Yeah, well, I hear that. Aaron, you've been involved in both. Is it a big step from Chatham Cup playing through to Canterbury United, or...?
The Chatham Cup's probably a bit different. From the local mainland Premier League to the National League, I think is a significant step up. Whereas in the Chatham Cup, especially in the last few rounds, you're playing against some very, very good sides, and it's probably the equivalent of the
But your
National League.
gonads are on the line every time in Chatham Cup.
Yeah, it changes.
You can't
everything.
drop one.
No. And I think that showed the first game that we played was against Ferrymead Bays, and it went to extra time and then penalties. And that was our tightest game, and that was the first round against the local team.
I just wonder, I hear a lot about the standard being lower, and I just think there's something about sudden death, any sport. It makes it
changes
blooming
everything.
tough. When we come back, we're going to have the player of the game, or player of the match, I think they call them now, and he's going to join me, and then we'll be back with Aaron a little bit later on. So back in a moment, we are talking the girl. She's here. So there we are. We've got the Chatham Cup. That's the Chatham Cup. Great achievement by Cashmere Tech to win it back-to-back, which is not easy. Quite interesting when you look at the history of it. Mount Wellington have won it 7 times, and Christchurch United, and we all remember those dizzy days, they've won it 6 times. Well, John Brown and his squad are on their way for that. They've won 2 from 2, so a great achievement. The player of the match was Stu Kelly. Stu, we had the pleasure of watching you last year when we filmed you. You just go, mate. Your little legs just keep pumping. Do you get puffed? Do you get tired, or what?
Nah, John's good at motivating me on the sidelines for that.
Yeah.
He's
But you're a little dynamo. You just keep going.
Nah, you just need to keep running, really.
Yeah. So, build up for the game that you played to win it this year. Was it a different build up from the year before?
Yeah, like Alan was saying, there is a target on your back, and especially in the last few rounds, there's more media interest. So everybody reads it, and it just adds to the occasion a little bit more.
Yeah, Central, we were opposition. Were they expected to win it? Were they?
No, I think we were the favourites going into the game.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. It just matters what you think in your own camp, I think. So.
Your own background, you've been a professional footballer. Now you've got a proper job as well. You can tell us where you're working.
Yeah, I manage the front runner store for...
In Northlands?
At Northlands Mall now.
Got the
got the plug in.
Yeah, because he's got to get time off work to come in here, see. So, so he's at front runner in Northland. Lottie Blythe, of course, was one of the founders of it, and he was a football man and whatnot. Professionally here, you've been away though, you've been playing in Europe. Where have you been?
I was in Finland briefly, and I was in Asia for a while as well.
Whereabouts in Asia were you?
I was in Thailand.
Right, what's the standard like there?
It's good. They've got 3-4 professional leagues, and you know,
Is the money good?
There's a lot of money in that league.
Is there?
You know, yeah.
Yeah. Why'd you give it up?
At the time, I was the transfer window was open, and I had left my current club, and then both my parents passed away within a month, so I just basically got fed up and just decided to get a bit of stability in my life.
Finland, not a country I associate really with the round ball game.
Yeah, it's really popular there.
Yeah.
They've got a good women's team. Yeah, most European.
They're not a World Cup threat though, are they?
Nah, they're probably seen in the same level as sort of Scotland and Norway and Denmark, those sort of countries.
England. Oops, I bring that in.
You said that.
Bernie, what do you see in him as a player? What does he give you?
A headache usually. No, Stu's been excellent for us. Now he's now last year he was our Player of the Year, him and Nick Waterboy, and in the final it was really hot in Auckland. I don't know if it came across that in the live stream, but it was really hot. And now Aaron and Stu, now they basically ran their socks off, which now that's what we expect as a team. Now,
Is that what you asked them to do?
yeah, now we've had I've got a motto with a team that now everybody knows they're good players, but without that 100% of hard work, then their skill really doesn't get them through. So now they do respond well and they really work hard, and they know if they work hard, then now the skill factor of the team will take them to the end and get them a result.
But this little joker wouldn't come off the field having not emptied the tank.
No, I've never seen him yet do that. He always empties the tank, gives it everything, and
that's an inspiration to the other boys?
yeah, no, they realise they give him a bit of a hard time like I do, but they know how much he works, and yeah, he really, him and Aaron, especially in the final, when our legs were getting away a wee bit at the end, the last 20 minutes, and now they just kept working and working and working and got us over the line.
You talk to other sports now. Have you got a sort of like a leadership group, a senior group, you know, like Stu and Aaron?
Yep. Now, at the start of the year, we sit down before the first game, actually, and we usually go to Robbie's for something to eat, and we sit down what we want out of the year, and we get a buy into it. Now, I don't set out to them what they've got to do. They actually decide what they want to achieve out of the year. And that's a big key for us as our senior group, the likes of Dan Terrace and the lads.
Yeah. How many changes from last year's winning side to this year's winning side?
Well, in the final, the only changes were Corey Mitchell was, he just come back from America that day, so in the final, so he was on the bench, he was a bit tired. And our young goalkeeper, Danny Knight, he had an excellent game, so he never played in the final last year. And the only other two changes was Aaron and Ash Welburn, so they came into the side.
So reasonably settled side.
Yeah, reasonably.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
we had 8 players plus 3 on the bench that were involved in the final the year before.
Stewie, how much do you rely on combination? You know, you've got to know where your players are going to be, don't you? And you can rely on them.
Yeah, I mean, at Tech it's been good. The last 2 seasons it's been, you know, we all know what each other's doing, and the majority of us played Canterbury United last season. So, you know, the core group of players we're all familiar with each other, and we know what has to be done.
And a lot of trust. You trust those other
Yeah,
players.
I don't think you win what we've won if there's not a lot of trust and, you know, expectations from each other as well, just to drive each other on.
Now, he's not listening, but are there times you'd like to turn around and tell him to shut up? He's a screamer on the sideline, isn't he, the coach?
Yeah, it's just the way he is, you know.
Does it get you
he's
down?
not meaning it. Nah, I just switch off now. Other people tell me after the game that I get a little report from the guys who are on the sideline.
Yeah, because it must be tempting. I mean, you are a yapper, mate.
Oh, yeah. That's what happens when you love the game and you can't play it. You can play it for the sideline, and they can't understand the word they say, so it doesn't really make a difference. So,
Now, you may have known, of course, the other big event that occurred over the weekend, and I've got 2 of them here. The Scots were asked if they wanted to be independent or they wanted to stay with the mother country. And, well, we know the result, and wasn't quite as big a upset, I don't think, perhaps, as the national elections were here. But, OK, let's put it on you. John Brown, you're a Scotsman.
yep,
You want to stay with the Queen? What do you want to do?
stay with the Queen.
Stay with the Queen?
Yep.
OK. Now, did you think it would go through the way it did?
No, I keep obviously my family's still there, my dad's still there, and I think when the referendum first came up, there was roughly 65-35 in favour of staying, but the last couple of weeks that really narrowed into basically toss of the coin. So yeah, we got a bit nervous, a bit disappointing in the scenes afterwards. Now,
that was going to happen. There was so much hype and tension
so much
around each
hype,
other. Right, so he's Generation A, you're Generation Y. How would you have voted, mate?
If there was a sit in the fence, I'd take that.
No, you've got to put your goonheads on the line, son. What would you do?
Just in the argument of resources and stuff, and you know, it would have been good to go independent, but there's so many, you know, conversations.
So you would have been a yes?
If I chose to vote, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Would you not have voted perhaps, do you think?
I think it's not black and white. There's a lot of other issues that were attached to it.
I think the one interesting thing in the whole thing, and I know we're digressing slightly, but it's to do with the country that a lot of us came from, was the fact that I don't know whether they quite grasped how permanent it would be.
Yeah, that was it. That was
It's
the
not a
biggest
general
thing.
election,
Yeah.
it's a change in tactics, a whole lot, isn't it?
Yeah, well, no, you need your own money, you need your own Army, Navy and Air Force, so yeah, but from my dad's point of view, he's a pensioner, so there's a lot of uncertainty there, isn't he? He was
He's a Scotsman, not a
Yeah.
pensioner, you can imagine it. Okay, what are you going to do for the rest of the season, Stu? Do Canterbury United want you? You don't know, do
Probably
you?
best not to speak about that just now.
Because you don't know.
Oh yeah, I know, but it's just more complicated than.
Is it? Yeah. Well, what will keep you going? What will you be doing? Will you just have a half season off or something?
Nah, in a couple of weeks I'm going to play for the Cook Island Champions in one of the preliminary tournaments for the O-League. So
How would you qualify for that?
they can just sign any foreign players, the same as New Zealand teams.
So where are you playing?
The tournament's in Samoa, so I get a free holiday, and I've never seen Samoa.
Stinking hot.
That's okay.
So how many games?
I think it's 4 or 5 games.
Oh, hell.
In
So
like 10 days or so.
good on you. So it's a bit of a workload.
It's good. I'll take it as a holiday, chance to see another culture, different.
You've not been there before?
Nah.
No, fascinating country. Yeah, of course, they'll all be excited about the All Blacks coming next year. That'll be the thing over there. They're really looking forward to hosting them.
Yeah.
Wish you the best of luck. So congratulations, player of the match. I'm not surprised you won it. I thought, did you win it last time? In the last final?
No, Andy Pittman won it last year.
That's right, he did too. Don't know
Another
how.
old bugger.
Yeah, don't know how. Okay, when we come back, we'll get Aaron back and we'll look ahead now for football, and we'll talk with Johnny Brown as well. Back in just a moment. I always say we should actually film the ad breaks because it's got quite heated, I've got to tell you, the vote in Scotland. Bizarre, wasn't it? I mean, if you're a serving soldier of Scottish origin and you're serving in England, for argument's sake, you couldn't have a vote. And yet a Kiwi who just happened to go over there to the OE could. Seems a bit bizarre, doesn't it, really? Never mind. We'll get off that and get back to football. Canterbury United, that's where you're going to head? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Season ahead. Have you started training?
I'm going down tonight for my first training,
Right.
so we'll see how it goes.
Okay. So they haven't named the squad yet?
I don't believe they've named all of it.
Right.
I'm not sure, obviously, because I haven't been down there, so I'm not
Now
too
you've got
sure.
a new coach?
Yeah, Sean Devine's the coach this year, so we'll see how that pans out. You know, for the 5 years I've been at Canterbury United, it's been Keith
Always
every
Keith.
time. So
Keith
this is my
Braithwaite,
first time with a new coach, so it'll be
Do
interesting.
you know much about him?
Well, he was our assistant coach last year,
Right.
so that makes it obviously pretty easy for that
Was
transition.
he hands-on at that role?
Yeah, he did a lot of the training sessions, took a lot of
The Keith had
trainings,
come
but it's
down.
a different role.
Yeah.
You know, it's a completely different relationship as well. So yeah.
Is Canterbury United a stepping stone potentially for you, or where do you go?
No,
I
I've
mean, you keep
been.
winning the silver. What happens to you? Do you just keep going?
That's true. No, I've been at Canterbury United. I was assistant coach to Danny Halligan for 5 years. Really enjoyed it. Aaron was one of the young lads away back then, and then I was on the board for 2 or 3 years. But yeah, I don't think the wife would let me coach in the summer, to be honest.
Oh, really?
No, it's
Because you wouldn't give up the winter one.
no, I love it.
Yeah.
It's a family club. The kids love it. And now we get away for break and go to football all day on a Saturday. And in the summer, it's now even for the players, it's a big commitment.
It is.
Training 3 nights a week. And
Because November through to April, virtually, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a long
November.
time. Not all that many games, though, to be fair.
No, it's not a huge amount of games,
No.
but you're training all the way through regardless.
Yeah.
So I think that makes it even tougher.
So are you a full-time footballer, or have you got a proper job?
No, I do a couple of other things. I certainly wouldn't call it a proper job though. But I
But it's
do-
involved in football, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm involved in
What do you
football
do?
in a number of capacities. I coach and I help run the Canterbury United Academy, which is 16 to 20-year-old kind of talented players in the region,
Right.
and I really love doing that. And then I do some work with Kashmir Technical as well. We're rebuilding a number of earthquake-damaged parts from that side of town, the field,
Oh, right.
the pavilion, changing rooms. Yeah, it's
So
a
it's a
pretty exciting
diverse
project.
role, which is
oh,
good.
yeah, I do a number
Yeah,
of things that
yeah.
I'm interested in, which
The
is
Russian
cool.
Academy. Brownie?
what's that?
The Russian Academy. What's going to happen there? Canterbury Academy, I think it's called.
It's brilliant. It's called, what is it, Canterbury Football
Yeah,
Academy?
Christchurch Football Academy.
Football. Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Breath of fresh air, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd love to see him coming by Canterbury United. No, he's got...
I can tell you I was in talks with them last week. They won't be doing that.
Oh, is that right? Oh, well, that's a shame.
But great for the sport, isn't it? I mean, if half the dream comes to fruition, it'd be terrific for the sport, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's terrific. And the best thing about him is that he's so ambitious and he's aiming so high on a scale that most people in Christchurch don't really do. And, you know, what I want more than anything is terrific opportunities and facilities for young Christchurch footballers. And it seems like he's in a position to deliver something like that.
And numbers-wise, it's phenomenal, isn't it? The youth that are playing the game, and yet it seems to get a bit stymied somewhere. It just isn't quite...
Yeah, we struggle with the transition from high school into clubs. I mean, it's...
As do a lot of other
clear.
sports.
Yeah, but our numbers in youth football are staggering. It's the highest in New Zealand by a long way, and it's really significant. And I think that over time, what you'll see is that relationship will get better and we'll get more numbers in the top level too.
Well, I was out there talking to them the other day, and I think they're going, was it sort of like 6, 8, 10, something like that age group, and that's it to start with. So they're really building the base at very much the bottom, aren't they?
Yeah, it's the right move for sure.
Yeah. And let's hope from schools and that sort of thing that they can see a pathway for them, because it's huge, isn't it, the potential of the sport?
I hope so, and I hope it works really well. You know, I was actually out there on Saturday. They had a little tournament, and I went out there and visited some of the kids, and it's great. You know, he's already bought some of the land, so the potential for it is there, and he's putting his money where his mouth is, and that's great.
All white, want to be one again?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's nothing better than representing your country. You know, it's something that's truly quite special.
So, have you had any feedback from the new coach at all?
I spoke to him briefly, but nothing specific. So hopefully, you know, over the next few games, I believe there's a couple of games in November. So, you know, you never know. Hopefully, I get an opportunity then.
Will you have had much time to have shown your skills though? Canterbury United will have only just sort of started, won't they?
Yeah, that's correct. No, not a tremendous amount of opportunities. But that's what happens with international football.
Was it the Kashmir Tech final of the Chatham Cup?
I believe he was at the semi-final, wasn't he?
Yeah, good for Aaron. He was at a semi-final where Aaron had an outstanding game.
Right.
Actually, the other young lad who probably never done his chances any harm was Ash Wellborn, so both of them were outstanding in the semi-final and he was there. So, yeah, I think now Aaron's a class player, I think.
So, John, you subscribe to the same thing, that your role is to actually bring the players to the highest level they can play?
Yeah, I think it's a bit different in the Winter League. I think now what's happening with Russian, I think that's where the focus should be in the young kids. Because when they get to senior football, now if you have to concentrate on showing them how to trap a ball or now still working on the skills at that level, it's probably too late.
But you would love seeing Aaron making it back into the All Whites and things like that.
Definitely.
It's rewarding for a coach, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic. Now, we've got a young lad in our team that's played a couple of games, young Lyle Matheson. He's only 15. He's just made the New Zealand under-17 squad, and you get just as much joy out of that as winning the Chatham Cup.
Speaking of underage, we've got the under-20 tournament coming here, World Cup. I mean, it's pretty exciting.
Oh, it's fantastic. That's part of Aaron's role at the club.
Are you hosting someone there, or you got a team?
It'll be used as a training ground. They haven't confirmed who's going to be at the training ground yet, but we will be hosting 2 teams there, which will be
because Russia are at Linfield Park, I know that.
Okay.
They're going there, and FIFA have just given them 60 grand to do the ground up. So they're happy.
I know who we won't be getting, that's Scotland, because they've not qualified again. So.
Again, still, whatever, yeah.
No, just on that, if I can really quickly, the Under-20 World Cup, I went to the 2007 one as a player, and it's a massive tournament. I don't think people in New Zealand quite understand how huge that tournament is.
How did we get it?
I'm not sure. I had nothing to do with it.
Just bid for it and got it.
But get out there and support. Go to the games if you can. It's an incredible tournament with some world-class players.
So 07, you've seen some players go through and represent their countries at the highest level?
Yeah. There was a boy from Portugal that we played against. The name's gone on me now.
Right.
But he plays for Real Madrid now, and terrific footballer, right fullback.
Pepe?
No, not Pepe. Fabio Coentrao. There you go.
Terrific footballer. You see her there?
Champions League winner. Unbelievable footballer.
Well, bask in the glory, boys. She's here, the Chatham Cup, 2 years in a row. Phenomenal performance. And I appreciate you guys coming in. Look forward to Canterbury United's start to the season if we can strike an agreement there. We're working on it, I can tell you that, to try and bring it to you. Okay, catch you next week with another Red and Black Sport.